What is going on, everyone? My name's Boyd, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color, playing as Zeus. His name is Skady. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Odin. His name is GrandMonster. The map is Frozen Waste. This is the second round of the playoffs. This is semi-finals time. Win this game or this series, and you're in the finals to beat the victor of the other side of the bracket. What a time to be alive. My golly gosh. We've got Frozen Wastes as the map, and we've got this first game. GrandMonster, honestly, the dark horse of this tournament. I don't think many people would have guessed him to get this far in the tournament, let alone, I mean, let me start again. I don't think many people would have guessed him to get out of the group stages, let alone get to the semi-finals of this tournament. But he's playing incredibly well, taking wins off some of the best Age Mythology players currently playing. And I'm excited to see how he's going to match up this game, because he's not going up against anybody. He's not going up against nobody you want to be messing around with. This man here, this man Skady, he is known and he means business. Skady is one of the most tactically interesting, to say the very least, Age of Mythology players that we've ever seen. Loves to utilize the villages with his army when he realizes there's a big push coming. But more so, he's just such a smart player, always doing strategies which are going to give him the biggest edge in the game. Not to mention his mechanics are off the chain good as well. So we'll see how he's going to do in this game. It is Odin here with double gold mines, so not the easiest of games or easiest of maps for an Athena rush to take the win. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Skady try Hermes. You can do that Ulysses style Hermes play where you get like a double military academy centaur and go for the raids and then push. Or we might just see him go for an Athena rush, because Athena rush, you don't necessarily have to win early with Athena. Athena can be a semi-fast mythic strategy. So if you don't see the victory with the initial Athena rush, that's cool. Back off and then hit Hera and then win on the second gold mine, or even on the home gold mine at this point. So we'll see how these guys are going to go. GrandMonster throwing down his temple in the back of the base, nice and safe. This gold mine fairly popping out in the open, and Odysseus, some Toxotes can easily raid this. No sentry towers to help, but this gold mine over here also has very similar issues here with some Toxotes. Odysseus coming in, hitting this location, so that can be an issue for him. Now, Skady, on the other hand, has the same similar issues on his gold mines. Both of these easily hit. He's got some pretty good wood, though, to be honest. In fact, one wall over here does sort of secure this gold mine, so we'll see if Skady's going to throw that wall up at any point here. He's also grabbing his pigs, and it's looking like he is going Hermes. A little bit of a funny start here is Skady has to move forward to go to the walrus, eat the goat in order to make this all happen. But I'm not too surprised to see Hermes here. Walls much more difficult on this map than otherwise. Odin has to prepare for the Athena rush regardless, so you get that double strategy, that double potency there of Hermes and everything else. We see GrandMonster, excuse me, cutting villages there to be able to advance. Very, very late advance time. He's actually moved forward to this hunt, trying to get all the caribou and saving his caribou in his main base here. Smart play to do that, but honestly, these caribou are kind of out in the middle of nowhere anyways, so wouldn't be surprised to see Skady push off these caribou as well. This is kind of a really rough map here, or rough spawn here for GrandMonster. So we'll see how he's going to deal with it. Getting out his Cerso, throwing down the houses and making everything feel great, funky, fresh. Only 2 villages on the temple for Skady. He's got 6 villages on the food, and he is going for this immediate military academy. He wants this military academy up instantly, with 4 villages putting this military academy up. So if one villager takes 23 seconds and you put 3 extra villages down, that's going to half the time. So you get about a third of a villager every villager you add onto a military building, I believe. So That would have gone up at about 11 seconds or so to get that first military academy up. Now the centaurs are out, going double centaur, and then you'll get his Sylvan Law out fairly soon after this as well. There it is. Follow that up with some houses, and he's going to be on his way. This is going to be a very difficult time for GrandMonster to deal with. We do see the longhouses coming out, more Herser coming through. We've got the dwarves pumping over here onto this gold mine. The Valkyrie going to be searching around. You have to be very careful, because if the Valkyrie jumps onto the centaurs, it's going to be a bad time. And honestly, you don't really want to bolt the Valkyrie if you can help it. If you can not get bolted, or if you can kill the Valkyrie without bolting, that means you're going to have your bolt available for the first Frost Giant, which will help out a ton. Sylvan Law just about to pop. We've got centaurs all over the map right now. The hoplites are looking around to push in. And Raiding Cavalry, the unit of choice here for GrandMonster, doesn't really counter anything that Skady is making here. Meanwhile, the Raven's flying overhead, looking to maybe get a forest fire or something like that. More houses coming down for Skady as he's pumping out just the one military academy so far. The centaur going to try and chase this Valkyrie around. I honestly reckon he can just leave this one now. It's at half HP. It's almost possible to just fight that one off. There is also the Armor of Achilles here if Skady wants to pick that up. Actually, a huge relic for the hack vulnerability. The hoplites coming in, going to be hitting these villages. We do see... Wait, what do we... Was that the bolt? Well, bolting a Herser here in order to pick off the Ulfsuck in the back, causing GrandMonster to be housed there for a second, but the house is coming up on the front as well. Maybe a little bit of a mistake there, getting that bolt there, as the Valkyrie now coming into Skady's base. There's the forest fire. Will he kill the villager? Not gonna... maybe get one villager kill here, just barely. And the storehouse kill as well, so getting that 50 wood kill, and the Odysseus coming out to shoo that Valkyrie away. Meanwhile, hoplites still pushing in as the centaur are here to help out. Going to be shooting down those raiding cavalry slowly but surely, doing that damage. Raiding this centaur coming up to the top side of the map as well, getting a little bit more damage done onto those villages, pulling back as well. Really nice multitasking here from Skady, hitting multiple different areas. We see the raiding cavalry coming now onto the centaur. He does have 30% hack armor, 275 HP, so will stay alive for a fairly decent time, as he does snipe one raiding cavalry for trying to do that little bit of amount of damage there. You need to get the Herser onto the centaur, which is no easy task at all. Now the hoplites still moving in. We got some throwing axemen now popping out. That's exactly what Skady wants to see, because now he can move in, I believe, two centaur, one hit a throwing axeman here. If I look at this correctly, recharge time, range 12, does 50 pierce damage. So yes, two of those special attacks will one hit a throwing axeman. You can just move in, hit those, run away, move in, hit those, run away, on repeat. We do see the walls coming up now for GrandMonster, going to try and protect his wood situation here, as he's having to chop down the straggler trees, but he can move back over onto this wood line, though a centaur can come here and harass from over the wood. And we see the hoplites coming back in, going to start taking down some houses of GrandMonster. He's starting to float some food, needs more gold income. And the problem here is, if Skady can kill off this tower, this gold mine's going to expire, and I don't know if GrandMonster's going to be able to get to the heroic age. He needs heroic age. He needs Skady. Essentially, he needs his opponent to help him win this game. And now we see the Toxotes even coming into the mix here, as we're seeing essentially an Athena Rush without restoration, as the damage is so strong here for Skady. Happily grabbing berry bushes in the middle of the map. An interesting decision to do that instead of going for the caribou. It's because it's possibly not going to be a location that GrandMonster's going to raid. We do see the hoplites now coming over here, hitting this sentry tower, killing that one over. That's going to allow the centaur and the Toxotes and the Odysseus to start sniping down a dwarf, but do not quite manage to get it, as the raiding cavalry come and shoo them away. But Skady's not going to leave this position now. He's just going to keep on moving in, hitting this spot here, trying to pick off a dwarf or whatnot. We do see a couple of hoplites are falling, and there's the medium raiders coming through for GrandMonster, as he is barely holding on to this rush. We see the longhouse falling here, and Skady still pushing in. He can't really go for the town center just yet, but he can keep the harass coming here, sniping units left, right, and center. He can possibly take this fight. Wow, it's a little bit ballsy to go for that one underneath the town center fire. The Centaur in the back are not getting targeted by the Ursa though, so he can take this fight fairly confidently because the Centaur are going to be doing tons of damage here. The Toxotes is getting surrounded as well, and it's looking like GrandMonster is getting the fight that he wanted, but not really the result that he was after, as Skady's army just way too strong here, pushing him with the Centaur, sniping those throwing axemen. The hoplites are falling, but this is going to force GrandMonster to stay in the classical age, which means now he can make his way over to this medium gold mine. This gold mine going to get pushed off as well, even though it's just expired. Does lose one dwarf there as well, and Skady's 77 population to GrandMonster's 44 population. An absolute mammoth advantage here for Skady in game number 1, as GrandMonster is going to be continuously attempting to get those units out, but every single unit he gets out seemingly are falling. You see all the dead bodies here. All the units are feeling the pain. The Centaur just going to run straight through this Odin base here of GrandMonster, going to run straight over onto this location. Does snipe a throwing axeman here as the dwarves are getting pulled back off that location. Skady not really attempting to get these gold mines sighted here, as the dwarves moving back up. There's only 21 gold here. There's 21 gold here. This doesn't matter. I don't know. I don't think this is gonna even net him a unit. 21 gold plus 11. Is that enough for anything? Like an Ulfsark, right? That's it. 30 gold here. He's going to come back over onto this location. The hoplite's now going to take down a longhouse. Another longhouse coming up for GrandMonster, as he is desperately trying to mine gold against this Hermes rush here from Skady. And his Toxotes sniping everything. GrandMonster cannot keep his units alive for long enough to get any sort of ball of units. We see the ox cart in the back here going to get picked off as well, and the raiding cavalry coming around into the back here, but the Centaur are here to snipe those throwing axemen in the back. The hoplites can kill off the Hersa here, which is the only real defense against the Centaur, and the Toxotes will live long enough to deal the damage that they need to do to stay alive and finish off this gold mine here and prevent that one from going through. And GrandMonster does tap out there in the 11th minute. What a strategy here from Skady, executing it to perfection. It does remind you of that Ulysses game from the Challengers League, but this was just so perfectly executed, really well controlled. Centaur hitting this location and this location at the same time in the start of this game. GrandMonster not able to hunt these caribou in this stage of the game either, so him moving forward onto this caribou only hurt him in this game. And in the end here, he was just not able to get out enough units to really fight off Skady. If we check the population, not 1 point was GrandMonster in front on population. Not 1 point here. And the military units, not 1 point did he have more military units than Skady either. And that's with Skady making Centaur, which do essentially... they take a lot more resources to build. So if you're not keeping up population against Centaur, it's a real bad time for you. And Skady does take the first game. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.